In lesson 2.1, we're gonna use square root to solve quadratic equation. But first, let me remind you about the square root. So if we have the square root of 4, it's well known as 2. But if we have the square root of negative 4, it is defined as, or can be written as, square root of 4 multiplied by square root of negative 1. The square root of negative 1 is defined as I, and I is an imaginary unit. So it's equal to the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of negative 1 is I. And here we introduce the complex number. I have prepared some questions to be solved. The first question, x squared is equal to negative 25. The keyword in this lesson is isolate. The first question is given x squared is already isolated. So only we need to get rid of degree 2 or power 2. The way to get rid of the power of 2 is its enemy, which is the square root. So we're gonna do square root both sides. And remember, whenever we do square root, we have to put plus or minus. The square root and the power cancel each other. So x is equal to plus or minus, and the square root of negative 25 is 5i. The second number, x plus 2 to the power of 2 minus 3 is equal to 1. We need to isolate the bracket itself. So the minus 3 can be cancelled if we add plus 3 for both sides. So x plus 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. The bracket is isolated. We apply its enemy to cancel, to get rid of the degree 2. So we do square root for both sides with plus or minus. So x plus 2 is equal plus or minus the square root of 4 is 2. Get rid of the plus 2 as applying minus 2 for both sides. Then x is equal plus or minus 2 minus 2. We can simplify it as 2 minus 2, which is 0, and the second case, negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. The third number is 3 bracket x minus 1 to the power of 2 equal negative 27. To isolate the bracket, I need to get rid of 3. How to get rid of 3? We divide by 3. And remember, you cannot transpose 3 to the other side because we have times between the number and the bracket. Cancel each other. So x minus 1 to the power of 2 is equal 27 divided by 3 is 9. To get rid of power of 2, we do its enemy, the radical, for both sides with plus or minus. So x minus 1 is equal plus or minus, the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of negative 1 is I. We just need to get rid of the minus 1. So x is equal plus or minus 3i plus 1. We cannot go further because we cannot combine them, so that's it. We leave the answer like this. For the last number, 4x2 minus 25 equal to 0. Isolate, we start isolating the 25. The opposite is plus 25 for both sides. So 4x2 is equal to 25. Get rid of 4 by dividing both sides by 4. So x squared is equal 25 divided by 4. The opposite of the power 2 is square root with plus or minus. So x is equal plus or minus the square root of 25 is 5 divided by the square root of 4 is 2.